it's like you telling me that you can play an orchestra just with drums, right?
Exactly.
Or just with guitar. You can't. An orchestra means that you have different types of instruments and everything needs to have a beautiful symphony, right? And for it to produce beautiful music. You can't do it with one single instrument and think that something great is going to happen.
All right, we're here with Sabir Semerkant. Sabir, how's it going today?
Really good. It's a beautiful Friday morning in New York City. Finally, we've had a ton of rain and very dark skies, so this is a good change.
Is it getting cold over there? Because in Wisconsin right now it's like bitter cold. It's like 37 degrees.
Well, it was cold. Yesterday, it switched to like 75 degrees so that you have to change into a t-shirt. And then by nighttime, it was cold again. And that's what makes you sick, gets you sick.
Mother Nature knows no mercy. All right. Well, Sabir, welcome to The Obsessed Marketer. We're going to talk a little bit about e-commerce today. And I think you are just a great guide in a way to some of our small business owners, kind of wondering how e-commerce works, maybe getting into the space, whether they own a brick and mortar store and want to go online, or maybe they just want to boost their sales. Now, you've been boosting sales for many, many companies, and you were just telling me this before. So what are you kind of doing right now?
So there are three different things that I work on. So one is because of my skill set, companies hire me to consult for them, and my consulting is very specific. It's revenue growth, So anything that's getting in the way of revenue growth for a company, I unlock that, and if they're stuck, they get unstuck. And not only it's revenue growth on the top line, it has to be profitable revenue growth. So that's what my focus is, and that's where I help out my clients in that vein. If you watched any episode of Kitchen Nightmares with Gordon Ramsay, right? The restaurants that succeed continue implementing what he had, the framework that he put in place. While others, he comes back to review it again, and then they have reverted back. The chef went back to his own revenue menu and stuff. The same applies to my business. Like when I'm helping these businesses, there are some that because the CMO got upset because we stepped on her foot or whatever, any of those kind of things. They're worried more about their ego than the likelihood of that company surviving,
Yes.
and actually surviving and thriving. So it's to them, it's an attack on their ego. Once they can step away from that, they'll see, they could literally, that success the company had, they could literally put that on their LinkedIn and resume to say that, when the company went through a 5x, 6x, 10x growth, they were there, they were the CMO. They can take the credit for it, by playing along. But so some of them can't,
So although you're kind of, you're helping out these businesses and everything, and, we have an audience of small business owners, listening to the show, what are some tips that you would kind of give to small business owners not currently with you right now, but something that could be implemented already in their online e-commerce shops?
Number one is you have to know it's about the consumer. That's number one, right? Mm-hmm. I have come across, every business that I come across, the number one thing that I fix first is I remove the brand from the pedestal, on a website where they're talking about how great they are. The consumers don't care. They give you 1.7 seconds to impress the consumer in order for them to engage with you.
Goldfish or something like that, the attention span.
It is. It's one swipe. That's what it is. The one swipe on a TikTok or Instagram or even an Amazon product page on your mobile is less than 1.7 seconds. So if you clutter up your homepage and your product page and you start putting accolades against how great you are, right? You didn't make the connection in 1.7 seconds. You lost a lot of people. This is why when small businesses or any other business, when they run ads and they bring all this traffic to their site, their bounce rate goes to like 90-95%. Bounce rate is people coming to your site because you had a great ad that they liked. They clicked on Shop Now. They came to your site. When they got to your site, what you did to them was you did not make the connection.
Yep. And
right?
the consumer just bounces out.
Bounce out. That's what a bounce rate is. So 100 people you brought to the site, 90, 95 of them bounced. They were not interested anymore. They went to Google or somewhere else and said, oh, okay, you know what? Somebody else is going to sell me a better laundry detergent, right? And they left you, So that's the thing people have to understand. Like, one, your site has to perform fast, because there are a lot of platforms that don't do a great job of that, right? So the site speed really matters. Number two, once you get over that hurdle, you have to really make a connection about whatever you were selling in that creative that made the person click. Now they came to your site. Don't tell them about your brand story. Continue telling the product benefits, and quickly add to cart, and you accept every payment method and stuff like that. Go with that. Don't tell them, don't waste their time with other stuff that you believe that they should know about your brand. If they want to know their brand, they'll come in for a second purchase and a third purchase.
How is it going to solve their problems, their pain points? Exactly.
Yep.
So, we're talking about different platforms to be on, right? So Shopify is a huge one now.
Pretty big brands that do over $100 million exist on Shopify. So small business owners shouldn't think like, oh, you know what? I'm going to put my stuff on Shopify for a couple of years, and then when we grow to a certain size, we're going to take it and move it to another e-commerce platform. I can tell you that there are like 100 million plus and even a few billion-dollar brands that sit on top of Shopify. One of them being like Allbirds. I don't know if you know the sneaker brand Allbirds. Mm-hmm. It's a Shopify brand that actually a brand that runs on Shopify platform. It's working fine for them. They continue enhancing their shopping experience and stuff like that. So you're not going to outgrow it. I mean, if you make a Shopify decision, you're making a smart decision, and you could stick with it and continue growing with the platform as your business grows and you want to deliver better experiences online.
Well, and just the integrations itself with social media platforms as well and technology, right? If I buy something on Shopify, it now shows up in my Apple Wallet app and it says, hey, you can track your shipment with Apple Wallet, or you can track it with the Shop app. So yeah, I say, Shopify is a great option. But so you also kind of specialize in Amazon e-commerce as well, right? Yep.
Actually, I was just published in Harvard Business Review. My article came out. It's should your company sell on Amazon, right? It's a very transparent article that actually weighs all the pros and cons, and it's not and it depends on the brand and what they're trying to sell and where they are in their journey, right? And if it makes sense for them to get on Amazon. Not every product belongs on Amazon. Not every brand belongs on Amazon, right? But quite a lot do. So if you're in certain categories like electronics and electronics, books, vitamins, supplements, for you not to be on Amazon, it doesn't make sense, right? Because the thing is, that's the marketplace, right? That's where people are searching. You got over 180 million active shoppers on the platform. And if you're a vitamin brand and you're not selling on Amazon, you're missing out quite a lot because you're not in the comparisons. You're not, when people are comparison shopping and stuff like that, you're not there. And Amazon is the number one product search engine in the world, right? It's not Google. You Google for different informational things. You might do some shopping searches also, but Amazon is the place to go for you to do product search. Not even if you decide not to buy, you're at least looking at ratings, you're looking at testimonials, you're looking at Q&A section, you're looking at branded content and stuff like that to kind of learn more about it. You could be standing at a CVS or a Walgreens, physical store, but you're pulling up Amazon and you're looking at that data because while you're standing in that physical aisle, you don't have a store associate coming to you and saying, oh, can I help you with anything? Can I answer some questions? Doesn't exist anymore. Your assistant is your smartphone, and on that app, most likely you have Amazon out, and you're reading through that to see what it is, and if you like what you read, you're buying that item off the shelf if you need it immediately. Or you could be looking at it and going like, oh my God, Amazon actually has a 6-pack, which ends up being cheaper than what I have on the shelf, and then they actually, while standing in that store, they're buying from Amazon in that sense. That article actually was published in September-October issue of Harvard Business Review, and it's available online also. And if your audience goes to their browser and types in growthbysabir.com/Amazon, it's a short link to the HBR article.
Yeah, we'll also have it linked in the show notes below for you guys as well. So for someone who wants to get started with Amazon or, in that kind of e-commerce space for their business, what are some tips that you would have to kind of get started with that?
Number one, first try to get all of your content in a great shape on your Shopify site, right? Let's say your own branded site, it's andrew.com, right? Mm-hmm. Make sure that on andrew.com you have all the information you need for that consumer to make a good buying decision, right? Once you have that, then on Amazon, make sure that your product title is optimized for Amazon SEO, search engine optimization. That means that basically when somebody is searching for something on Amazon.com or Amazon app in the search on Amazon, that your products have optimized titles so that people can find your product organically, because organic search is still reigns number one on Amazon, even though you have sponsored ads and stuff like that. 7 to 9 product images, and these product images should not boost your ego as a brand. It should be specific to the product, to the benefits of the product, the accolades of the product. If you have testimonial, great, put that in there. If you have a product video, not a brand video, don't show me a commercial. Nobody's interested in that on Amazon. Show me more like the actual how-to, unboxing, testimonial, any of those kinds of types of videos for that product, so that when I click on it, you're not wasting my time. You're going to help me make my buying decision. A good example of a great video format would be, the popular shopping channels like HSN and QVC. When they showcase that one product for that, whatever it is, 5 minutes or 30 minutes, they focus on that product and they talk about all the benefits, how it feels on your skin, how you turn it on, how you turn it off, all that stuff. Make it that. So 7 to 9 images, one product video, or at least, if there are more product videos, like if influencers are doing different types of recipes for you, if it's a food brand, you could load all of that up as video shorts on the page, right? That's at a minimum. You should do that at a minimum, right? And reviews and ratings, there are pieces of software that actually helps you when people buy from you, especially if you're a small business. Most likely you have a seller account, not a vendor account, right? And there's differences between them. For the seller account, you set it up so that whenever somebody buys from you, you request them to give you a review. Don't ask them for a good review, because now you're violating seller terms. Mm-hmm. They should give you a review. An honest review. So it could be 3 stars or 5 stars, and then they can put up their photography. You can actually recommend the different types of content that they could put up, not necessarily the quality of the review, which now you're in violation of terms and conditions. That's at a minimum. And then if you do what's called A+ enhanced content, every product page can actually have almost like a landing page feel to it. And very recently, they actually for the products that have a brand store on Amazon, Amazon just opened up A+ Premium, which allows you to even do more modules and different types of modules on types of content. Let's call it that for now. In Amazon's vernacular, it's called Amazon modules, content modules. So it's you could put up more content on that product page, almost like when you go to those pages, it feels like you're on a landing page on a direct site. So again, don't promote your brand too much. You can say who you are, but promote the fact that how great this product is and what the benefits are, different uses of it and stuff like that. It's like laser targeted to a landing page. When you do those kinds of things, everything I described to you, and because the fact that most of the traffic on Amazon is organic traffic, in some categories there's a ton of competition around sponsored ads and stuff like that. I get that. But in most cases, organic still is great on the platform. You're going to get a pretty good conversion out of that without spending a penny on Amazon ads, But then you can elevate it after your pages are really optimized for organic conversion. Now it makes sense for you to actually spend money you can buy sponsored ads just like you do on Google and Facebook and stuff like that. Amazon is the third platform, third biggest advertising platform in the world. So you could buy. But what's great about it is you're buying the ads on the platform. It's a closed ecosystem. So your conversion rate and your return on advertising spend will be extremely high compared to Google and Facebook.
Yeah. So what you're kind of saying is it kind of sounds like, like a social media platform, right? You optimize, you get your page looking all good. You provide really great content that sells, your product or who you are, etc. Well, more so your product, not who you are. But, and then just kind of selling ads or buying ads and stuff like that in the space.
Yep. I mean, but the difference is when you buy an ad on Facebook or Google, you're buying an ad from an external platform.
Yep.
Now, when they click on it, they come to your site, right? That's where there's a huge gap. Even though Google and Facebook might do a great job of presenting that ad in the right time, at the right place, to the right audience, and you picked out the audience also, but they optimize that through their algorithm. But when they show up to your site, if your site is not optimized, which the number one optimized site in the world is Amazon, at conversion, So if you are driving them to andrew.com, right, your own brand, then in that scenario, what's happening is that person that's coming in is at your mercy. So if you're not optimized on your own site, that's when you start losing out on return on advertising spend. I mean, I hear so much from agencies and other people who run ads and stuff like that on Facebook and Google. They go like, well, we get a return on advertising spend of $1. And what does that mean? So I spend $1, I get $1 in revenue. So technically you're losing money because whatever you're selling has cost of goods associated with it and operating cost. So you're not getting dollar for dollar. It's not profitable. You have to, for every dollar, at a minimum, you need to be getting $2, right? Mm-hmm. In order to break even, right? Meaning that you didn't lose money, you didn't make any money, but you acquired a customer, right?
Yep.
So, but most of them, that's what they say. But the thing is, if you optimize that experience, and most ad agencies, they stay away from landing page optimization. So they don't do that. They go like, no, we're an ad agency. We will run your ads. We'll do the best creative. We're going to throw all this traffic at your site. But if the other side of it is not optimized, then you're wasting money, right? If the site doesn't load fast enough, if the product pages are not optimized for conversion, for some reason you decided that you will be against Apple Pay, right? In the United States, bad decision on mobile, right? So things like that will get in the way of conversion, right? And the excuse from most of these ad agencies is, well, the thing is, we don't control your site. We just do the ads for you, right? You have to get your Shopify guy to fix your Shopify site. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, it's the whole thing. It's like you telling me that you can play an orchestra just with drums, right?
Exactly.
Or just with guitar. You can't. An orchestra means that you have different types of instruments and everything needs to have a beautiful symphony, right? And for it to produce beautiful music. You can't do it with one single instrument and think that something great is going to happen. That's one of the reasons, like a lot of these situations that I get into, that's the one thing that I see, like I look at it holistically. I don't care about what platform they're using or how great the site they think they have and stuff. Because when you unpack that, you find all the problems, whether it's on the ad side, whether it's on the product side, it could be your website, it could be your product, you want to sell more of your widget, but there are 1,000 reviews that gave you 2 stars that says the lid comes off and the tomato sauce is all over the fridge, right? Fix the lid,
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with Shopify or Facebook. That has everything to do with you and your manufacturing.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah. Okay, so let's just close out here. I know you've already given at least one tip to our audience, right, about kind of starting an e-commerce. Is there anything else actionable that somebody could take away right now for their e-commerce business, or just starting out, or maybe they're just trying to grow a little bit?
Test, learn, and optimize. Highly recommended, right? Don't assume that you know everything, right? And even if your ad guy or whoever is running your e-commerce thinks that they know everything, let's say that it's one hypothesis. That's it. That's all it is, right? If you remember your chemistry class, if you mix two chemicals, either it exploded or it turned green or yellow or whatever, right? And there was some kind of chemical reaction. Just remember that. And that's what e-commerce is. Like, you have to test, learn. And even if you're reading an article that says that you should do this and you're going to have a huge win, it's hypothesis. It's one data point. Take it, apply it to your business, see if it works, give it the right parameters. And then if it doesn't work, you could change the test parameters to test it differently, right? And if it succeeds, okay, let me increase the budget on this, or let me increase the reach. Like if you're doing email marketing, for example, let me do the reach part of it. Maybe I send it out to 1,000 people. Now I'm going to send it out to my database of 5,000 people, right? Test it, test your messaging, and then optimize that messaging. And that applies to everything in your online business. It's your copy, it's your call to action, like shop now versus order now versus buy now. Which one? And then the button color. Is it green? Is it orange? Is it red? Is it just an outline, right? Mm-hmm. Test those things. Don't make an assumption, right? If you're starting out, what's great about it is be like a kid in a candy store. You're trying out one piece of candy at a time, and the one that you like, then you're going to tell your dad or mom to buy a whole bag of it for you, right? But don't buy the whole bag and then you go like, no, it's too sour for me, I'm not going to eat it. Now you're wasting your funds. You're wasting, the same applies to there, in your business too. And it's worse because now some businesses actually waste so much that they just wasted a whole person's salary, and you have to fire people now in your organization. It had nothing to do with them. It had everything with your bad decision and how you managed money. So you can have great wins very quickly, but at the same time, you could have gigantic losses at the same time too, very quickly.
If they want to find out more about you, Sabir, and maybe even get a little bit of help from you, where can they find you?
Growth by Sabir, growth, BYSABIR.com. They can go to my site. I have a ton of free content on there too for even tiny businesses and micro businesses that may not be able to afford my services. Thank you, Andrew, for having me on the show. I really appreciate you.